authorize any action resulting from closed section, and we didn't have any
No action
result that
taken.
required any action, so we'll go on to item 16 or item 19, discuss any matters for placement on a future agenda. Murray, you was
Okay, in the trustees meeting, the last trustees meeting, Chris Meeks made a comment, or he made an explanation that during flood conditions, the water flow into wastewater treatment plant number one, if it gets too high, they turn off the inlet or restrict it, and the floodwater backs up through the system, is what he said. Okay, I just found that very surprising because I'd never heard that before. It also seems to me that it's a very, to me, there's no way to measure what's going on. I suppose you can go out there and say, well, we've got 6 feet of water here, so the system's full. Or is it? I mean, just how much capacity is there for that? And that being the case, how do you measure peak flow? Actually, you control peak flow under those conditions, because when the flow gets too high, you cut it off and let it back up through the system. The whole thing, I mean, is this standard practice? Is it acceptable practice?
It's pretty standard in the industry.
Well, in that case, if you can control peak flow becomes meaningless virtually.
Blows over.
Well, it just means that you can control peak flow to be whatever you want.
well, and that is
No, because then people's houses will flood. You can't,
Okay,
you
so
can't
there
back.
is a limit to how much you
Oh,
can
yeah,
back it up.
absolutely.
Okay, has it been,
And by trial and error, they've had to figure that out apparently over the years to be able to know when they can and can't do that.
okay, so,
And most operators, a lot of operators do that.
well, we're trying to get an agenda item.
Yeah.
We can't really, let's get an agenda item.
I guess I don't
If
know
you'll put
exactly
it-
what the agenda item is.
Well, the agenda item is, I think Murray would like the SDRA to explain how they handle water in peak flow events. Is that?
yeah, basically, and
Okay.
you say you can't control the peak flow. Well, I challenge that to some extent because apparently you can. And yes, there's a limit, but what is the limit? Who sets the parameters? You said it was discovered by trial and error. I'd like a fuller explanation than we just back it up through the system.
Anyway,
I make a motion that this meeting adjourn.
second. All those in favor? Aye.
Get the gal.
Meeting adjourned.